everyone, good morning. With me today is Sir AJ Mosqueda. He previously passed the NCLEX last June 8th. Fresh, new NCLEX passer.
Yes.
Sir AJ, can you tell us anything about yourself, Sir AJ?
I'm AJ Mosqueda and I just recently passed the NCLEX. I'm 27 years old and I've been working in UK for nearly 3 years now. But it's been my dream to become a USRN since I graduated in 2014. It's a dream of my parents and it was also my dream. But unfortunately, because of financial problems before, I wasn't able to take it back home in the Philippines. So IPASS happened. It was actually recommended by my friend who also passed the exam, Karen. She's just my neighbor. And then, yun na. And you really made it easy for me because I didn't know what the process is. And my documents are in the Philippines as well. It's quite hard to make my parents go to Davao because they are living in Tagum City. So it's quite hard for them to process. And they're quite old already, and I don't want them to go to Davao just for that. But then I'm here, so it's quite hard. IPASS really made it happen for me. In just 6 months, I got my APP last January. I started processing last June.
Mhm.
2019, and then my ATT arrived January 2020. And then, so that's why I decided to book the exam right away. I wanted to take the exam last March 2020 sana. But because of COVID and everything that's going on with the world right now, I'm get canceled several times.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So you graduated in San Pedro College, isn't it, Sir AJ, last 2014?
2014, yeah.
So you are
So,
younger than me for about 5 years.
oh,
So I'm
it's
also
all
like
right. It doesn't
kasi,
show naman.
we are batchmates with Jola. We are
Oh,
actually
okay.
classmates. Yeah. And I think
Okay.
Harvey is Atenean. So Sir
Hmm.
EJ, by the way, for our viewers, Sir EJ is currently in the UK. So
Yeah.
how's everything there in
Uh,
relation to COVID?
as far as I know, they are slowly trying to lift the lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it was actually kind of nice to see like the coffee shops to reopen again, just because I wanted to feel normal again. For the past 3 months, it didn't feel normal at all. Feels nice to sort of feel normal again, but then still have to maintain 2 meters distance. When we ride public transport, we have to wear masks. When we're in the public, we don't necessarily need to wear masks. We just need to keep distance with each other. And non-essential shops are starting to open as well, which is good. I haven't been to any of them, but it's kind of nice to know that they're open again, that just to make us feel more normal, I guess. But still, there is that fear. Numbers, when it comes to numbers of people getting COVID, as far as I know, I think it's going down here. But then again, they just started to lift the lockdown. So I'm not sure if it's going to maintain that way or there's going to be a surge of number of patients with COVID like upcoming weeks. I think there's just trying to see and then go with the flow with whatever it is that's going to happen for the next days to come. Hopefully that's not going to happen. But yeah, I think we'll just try to cope with whatever it's going to happen for the next days.
At least it's already like progressing and improving in there, even here in the
Yeah.
Philippines at least. So there's already flights. The examinees can already sit for the examination
Yeah.
in Pearson View, Manila. So let's talk about your NCLEX. So how was your
Yeah.
preparation, Sir AJ?
My plan was, my friends told me to study before my ATP arrives.
Mm-hmm.
They told me to study ahead of time. So that was in July, August. They advised me. But a lot of things happened during those time. So I couldn't. When my ATP arrived, that's the time when I got more alert and
So
alarmed
pressured.
in studying. Yeah, because I got really pressured. And I think that's good for me. It works for me. If I have like deadline to meet, I get pressured and I think I become more productive. So that's why I booked right away when I got the ATT. I think it was in the third week of January this year. I booked on the 27th of March, and I immediately enrolled myself to UWorld.
Mhm.
I already got a Saunders book, which
Mhm.
was good. I started reading, but I couldn't really focus just because I got a little distracted last year. But yeah, I focused more on UWorld. So
Mhm.
what my plan was to finish UWorld for two or 3 weeks,
Mhm.
which was not really realistic because I was still working that time. I finished UWorld in a month. After I finished UWorld, I then sort of highlighted what my weaknesses were, and
Mhm.
I know right from the start that it's gonna be maternity and pediatrics.
As
Even as a
everyone,
student,
as everyone.
yeah, I think a lot of people and especially here because I'm adult trained here
Mhm.
in UK, they sort of categorize nurses. There are peds nurses, there are adult nurses, there are also mental health nurses. So
Mhm.
I'm adult trained here. So it's been like 3 years already since I handled peds or maternity. Although we still handle them, but we're not really technically allowed or legally allowed, maybe
Mhm.
because we're adult trained here and we got a license for to take care of adults only.
Mhm.
So after that, after knowing that my weaknesses were maternity and pediatrics, I studied it. So I studied maternity and child in Saunders,
Mhm.
uh, which really helped a lot. And then after that, my friends advised me, Karen and some other who passed already, to study as well a charity. I also know that I'm not really people who learn by listening. I'm not like
Mhm.
that. I learn by really reading it. So
And
I just
highlighting
didn't
everything.
bother. Yeah. So I just didn't bother. And then, so they told me to study La Charity 2 weeks before the exam, which
Mhm.
I did. So
Mhm.
I already finished studying UWorld,
Mhm.
and I studied the first comprehensive exam
Mhm.
for UWorld, and then I studied the maternity and child for Saunders, and some bits as well that I considered my weakness when I took the UWorld exam. So I studied it in Saunders as well.
Mhm.
Then I was studying La Charity already, like I think it was the second week of March. And then a week before March 27, I got an email from Pearson, and they told me that the exam got canceled because of the COVID. That time, I think it was March 18 or something.
Mhm.
Uh, there was still no lockdown.
Mhm.
So I was expecting to take the exam. And then, unfortunately, they implemented the lockdown, so I wasn't able to take the exam. And then to tell you honest, I got a little depressed because I wanted to be over. I think it will not stop at 75. That was my goal initially, but basing on my study period and yeah, just overall the process of the studying, I think I was not gonna hit the 75 mark, but I think I'm still gonna pass. And I just wanted to finish already. So I got a little depressed and disappointed because it got canceled. But then again, I just become more positive. I told myself that yes, it got canceled, but you can just reschedule and then you've got more time to study.
Yes.
So I just rescheduled again for May 1. And then at what you know, it got canceled again 4 days before May 1. And I was already studying La Charity again. Then it got canceled. I only got up to chapter 5.
Mhm.
And then I didn't finish it because I just didn't see the point of finishing it when I still have like more than a month because I was planning to reschedule maybe third or fourth week of May,
Mhm.
but there was no schedule at all. I think
Mhm.
the earliest one was on June 8th.
Mhm.
That's why I took that, and then I told myself to just study on the last week of May, which I didn't. So
Kasi you're
uh,
tired now of studying. Like, was
it's
really prolonged na.
yeah, it got really prolonged, and I think when that happens, you get a little complacent. And yeah, on the first week of June, I was like, okay, I need to study because the exam is coming
The
up.
next week.
But and in the back of my mind, I was like, no, it's not gonna happen. I think it's gonna get canceled again. They're not really hinting of an of lifting the lockdown. So, and London's not really, I'm not sure like today. I think they're doing much better, but it's not really as good as Kingston, my area here.
Mm.
Kingston has like the lowest number of COVID patients, I believe, as far
Mhm.
as I know. I'm not sure if it's changed, but as far as I know, it has the lowest number of cases. But London's not the same. So I was thinking it's just gonna get cancelled again,
Mhm.
and got more complacent. And then after a few days, a person emailed me, "Are you ready for this?" Sort of like that. I was like, "Oh, okay, it's not gonna get cancelled this time." So I got really panicky, and then I told myself I'm not gonna be able to finish the charity. I'm just gonna wing it, I guess. Yeah, so what I did was I just answered a lot of comprehensive examinations given the time, and then I answered the final comprehensive exam of UWorld,
Mhm.
and then I was really like, when I answered the exam, oh my god, I couldn't answer like half of it, to tell you honestly. And then I also realized that some of the questions that I couldn't answer, if I would have answered it 2 months ago, I would probably be able to answer it. I was like, oh, there's
So
no,
somehow you
yeah,
forgot some things because
some
of the time.
yeah, of the time that I was really complacent and not studying. So, and even the normal values, I really studied it from front to back because I listed all the normal values, and then I was able to memorize it in last March. This time I only I think remembered half of it,
Mhm.
but I still got a copy though, so it helped me to refamiliarize. But yeah, some were really erased in my memory already. I think what helped me was being aware of what's going to happen, that I need to really refocus. And I had a couple of days off before the exam, which really helped as well. And after I took the comprehensive exam, it gave me a rating of high chance of
Mhm.
passing.
Mhm.
So even though I was confident with that, but the manner of me answering the questions from UWorld was a bit alarming, just
Mhm.
because when I first answered the comprehensive exam last March, I was more confident.
I think you just lost the momentum because it's been quite
Yeah,
a while, like March until you actually took the exam last June. With regard to your preparation, AJ, how did you do it? Like, did you do it per system? Because others are suggesting like you have to study per system. Did you do it that way, or you have another way of studying?
I had a completely other way of studying.
So how did
um,
you do it?
yeah, I didn't study system by system.
Mm-hmm.
I think if I would have done that, it would have stopped at 60, I think. Because as we all know, right now it's just 60 to 130 items,
Yes.
right? Compared to before. I aimed for it to stop at 60, but unfortunately it didn't. If I studied system by system and I really studied religiously, I think it would stop. My own personal opinion, if you want to pass and aim for the examination to stop at 60, I think you need to study system by system. As what I said, I studied UWorld first,
Mm-hmm.
and then when I identified my weaknesses, that's the time I used Saunders,
Mm-hmm.
which is a bit risky, I would say. But I only studied that way because I only had less than 3 months of
Mm-hmm.
preparation before it was March 27, which was my original or my initial exam
Gotcha.
date.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. So if I had known that COVID's gonna happen, and June 8th was my examination and my ATT arrived last January, I would have studied system by system so that it would stop at 60.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, I would advise people if they're not really confident. Some people are not really like bookish, right? Like me.
Mm-hmm.
I would have studied system by system first and then studied UWorld after, and then Mark Limick and then La Charity.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think if you do that, most probably it will stop at 60.